Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining today's live demo on managing your employer brand with Glassdoor. We're going to get started in about a minute or so here, so grab your coffee and get ready. All right, we are going to go ahead and get started. Good morning for all of you who have just joined, and thank you for attending today's monthly UK demonstration. It is 11 a.m. in Dublin. So let's go ahead and kick this off with a question, and that's, why are we talking today? And ultimately, as the saying goes, brand or be branded. And in a nutshell, there's no other place on the internet that shows both the employer and employee perspective on why your company is an employer choice. I'm of the belief that the best employer brand is a combination of the employer value proposition and employee value proposition. And if you add to that your corporate and commercial brand reputation, I think you have what ultimately encapsulate an accurate employer brand. Before we dive into that and how Glassdoor works, I quickly want to go through some technical tips and webinar housekeeping for you attendees out there. So quickly, you can connect to audio using your computer's microphone and speakers. Alternatively, you may select the use telephone option after joining the webinar, and then all lines with the exception of mine will be muted to avoid any background noise. That being said, if you do have any questions, you can just share them by navigating to the right where you should see a question pane. And I typically get a range of questions, some of which I will answer as we go through the webinar, but in the interest of time, I'll answer the majority of the questions at the end during our Q&A. And then finally, I also can confirm that a recording of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel should you want to share with colleagues and or peers. Okay, we go. And then for all of you social butterflies out there, I definitely encourage you to join the conversation. And you can use our hashtag, which is GDChat, hashtag GDChat, and then feel free to tweet us at Glassdoor UK. So get involved in the conversation. And I'll go ahead and kick it off and introduce myself really briefly. I am your featured speaker today. My name is Lauren Hine, and I manage the EMEA sales development team here in Dublin. You can see a picture so you can put a face to the name and the voice. A little bit about my background is I've been at Glassdoor almost 3 years now, and I started out in our San Francisco office as a sales development representative myself, and then have been in for about almost 2 years now when we launched our Dublin office in February of last year. And as you can see today, I also help out the marketing team in spreading the word about Glassdoor. A little bit about myself. So let's go ahead and kick it off, and I'll also give you a bit of an agenda. Today, what we're wanting to address in today's webinar is talk a little bit about today's candidates and their decision-making process. Then we want to understand a little bit about what exactly is an employer brand. Then I'll show you some of what we can do immediately on Glassdoor, some quick wins, things that you can do today. We will jump live to site and do a little comparison for you about what our paper solutions look like versus the free employer account. And then finally, as I said, I will save the last 5 minutes or so for any questions that you have. So today's candidates spend more time researching those companies during the job search. And what that means is that the days of blindly applying for a job are long gone. And this is because today's candidates treat their job search as a critical decision, one where they rely heavily on reviews and research and referrals before making a decision on where they want to go to work. And for Glassdoor specifically, we pride ourselves in being the home of these informed candidates. So what that means is that these individuals who are spending all that time doing research are highly engaged. They have the right expectations going into an interview or new job, and ultimately are applying more thoughtfully to new job opportunities. So it ends up really being a win-win for both the candidate and for the employer. So we all know that where you work is one of the most important decisions you'll make in your life, and candidates feel the exact same way. And with that in mind, the way that candidates are searching for jobs today has fundamentally changed. So as you can see here is that consumers are visiting at least 3 websites before making a purchase, and then that's elevated when it comes to a job search. So on average, you're looking at 18 sources and reading 7 to 8 reviews before they even apply to a job. And why is that so? That's because of the wealth of information on the internet, job boards, professional networks, social media. Candidates have set higher expectations. And job seekers want to know more than just the information that's stated in the job description. And from a survey that Glassdoor did in 2014, we wanted to know what were the top 5 things that candidates want to know when researching a company. And what they said was, they want to know what makes this an attractive place to work. Then they want to know about compensation. Number 3 would be benefits. 4th would be mission, vision, and values. And then 5th, they just want to make sure they have the understanding of accurate company, the basic company information. And they don't just want to understand it from the company, they want to hear everyone's perspective. And although friends and family are still the most trusted at 72%, content provided by employees is the number 2 most trusted source of information on a company. And what we find is that candidates don't demand perfection, but they do expect a level of transparency and authenticity from employers. And 90% say that they want to work for a company that embraces transparency. I want to share a few stats with you that support this claim. And as you can see, 82% of recruiters describe today's talent market as candidate-driven. 75% turn to peers before making their own decisions about a brand. Employees are 3 times more credible than the CEO when talking about working conditions. And the reality is, people want and expect transparency. Every day, we're making better and more informed decisions based on reviews, and that's because often in the past, our expectations just didn't match the reality. So as consumers, we all turn to each other on sites like Amazon, Yelp, Zoopla, Expedia, and TripAdvisor to make more informed decisions. So we're not just talking about jobs here, we're talking about product purchases, where to eat, buying property, and where are we going to go on our next holiday. So now with Glassdoor, we're applying that same idea to employment, and we're helping people make decisions through the power of information transparency. And here at Glassdoor, we're passionate about it. Our mission is to help people everywhere find a job and company that they love. So let's go ahead and take a walk through a typical candidate decision-making process. And I'll go ahead and highlight at every step where Glassdoor influences your candidates. So if we start at the far left at the awareness piece, this is where the majority of employers like you invest in channels like LinkedIn, Indeed, or staffing firms. In this area, Glassdoor provides advertising to increase candidate flow. Then, once the candidate is made aware of your job, the next question they ask themselves is, do I actually want to work for this employer? And this is where Glassdoor's unique business value starts for the employer. Glassdoor is the only vendor that is able to influence the candidate every step as they consider you as an employer of choice. And we're able to do this through infusing employees' reviews, interviews, salaries, benefits, and ratings with our unique employer brand so that the candidate can make smarter and more informed decisions. So they'll start there from the initial awareness piece, but as they consider you as a company to work, go into prep for that interview, receive their offer, and then ultimately decide to work for your company, they will continually come back to Glassdoor to make sure that they have the right expectations and preparation as they enter into this new career or job. And as you can see, Glassdoor is growing rapidly. We have over 13 million reviews consisting of over 700,000 companies. And what we found is that with the level of engagement on Glassdoor, 89% of our users are open to or searching for a new opportunity and would consider leaving their current position if they found something that they felt better suited them. So I think now is a good time to switch over, talk a little bit about an employer brand and what exactly is that. I'm going to go ahead and borrow a great quote from the founder and CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. And Jeff says, your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. The room today is very much the internet and social media. And for the purpose of today's conversation, that room is Glassdoor. And so if you as an employer are not online telling your story, someone else is. So my challenge for you today is to, once we part ways at the end of this webinar, is to go internally and talk to your team and ask yourself some of these questions. And this will really help you formulate exactly what your company brand is. So ask yourselves, would current employees recommend your organization to a friend? What are job seekers saying about you on social media? And then what is your company rating on Glassdoor? And here's the reality. 69% of workers surveyed would not take a job with a company that had a bad reputation, even if they were unemployed. Moreover, a staggering 84 would consider leaving their current job if offered another role with a company that had an excellent corporate reputation. And the reality of these stats is that job applicants have access to more information about potential employers than ever before. So now candidates can weigh their options. They can compare benefits and salary and decide which opportunity and employer are right for them. And today, it really is as much about the candidate interviewing you as you are them. So if you're in the recruiting or interviewing space, and when top talent comes in for an interview, you can think about why this company is best fit for them. Maybe do research on Glassdoor on the company they came from and let them know how your company differs or is better in certain areas. You can leverage it from both the candidate and the employer perspective. So at this point, you're probably curious, what exactly do we do for employers? We've kind of talked about the content piece on Glassdoor, and I'll start off by saying we don't really have a one-size-fits-all approach, and we do create tailored solutions based on each company's individual needs. But having said that, our product line has three main components, as you can see on the screen right now. And the fastest growing component is job advertisements. This targets our high-quality, well-researched candidates based on search behavioral profile information. Then to the right, we have display advertising. The purpose of display advertising is to really help you build brand awareness and influence job seekers throughout the site. And then to the far left, we have the enhanced profile. And this helps companies influence job seekers and tell their story and tell their story of what it's like to work with another company. And what this means for you, the employer, is that we're putting your open positions in front of the most qualified and relevant candidates and simultaneously giving them insight into your unique company brand, giving them the full 360 of what it's like to work for your company. And then last, but certainly not least, we have insight into a wealth of analytics. So we're able to help you track overall brand awareness, analyze employee sentiment over time by location, and then we can also benchmark against competitors. So if there is a company that you strive to be like, we can help you benchmark yourself and kind of figure out the deficits and how you can grow and be better. So at this point, what I want to go ahead and do is jump live to the site and show you a little bit about some of the key differentiators between our free employer account and the paid for solution. So I'm going to jump out of here and minimize. So first, you'll see that on the right-hand side, you'll see me sharing my screen. So you might want to make that larger so that you can see my screen right now, because I know I have my presentation on as well. So great. Well, first I want to do is for you today, when you get the homework for you when you get the webinar, is go online and see how candidates are consuming information about your company. So I'm going to show you, for example, I'm going to say working at Shazam. Enter into Google search. I think the because it's where a lot of job seekers start their search. And I can see the first two options that pop up are Glassdoor. So we'll go ahead and click in to their page. So Shannon is not a partner of Glassdoor, and they're just operating out of a free employer account. And actually, currently, no one within the company is managing this account, and I can tell because I can see this little red dot here on the company page. So other homework for today is if you haven't accessed your employer account, please go do that today. It's completely free, and you can tell if you have either a red dot. If it's green, that means it is being managed, but red means go ahead and claim that page. So first thing here I noticed is about the company information. If I look on the right-hand side, I'll notice that I'm actually being targeted by sales jobs in Dublin. That makes sense. I'm in sales. I live in Dublin, so they're targeting me. Other companies are targeting me for job opportunities. And if I scroll down, the first thing I see is reviews. So not a lot coming from Shazam on this page. This is really being dictated by the content, by previous and current employees and their reviews. Okay, and I know I'm going to probably get this question at the end, so I will just let you know the main things that you can do with this free employer account are: 1, add a company logo right here. 2, you can update this company information, add a CEO photo, add some basic like company photos, which let me see, I don't think they've done. I don't see any other page. And then last and most importantly, you can respond to reviews. So again, with the free employer account, it is limited, but you do have access to updating some basic information, adding some photos, and then responding to reviews. So now we're going to jump to Arm Holding, who's one of our key partners, and they've graciously allowed us to use their page. And they have a branded page at our partner Glassdoor, and right off the bat, you'll notice this branded cover photo that also turns into a video. You'll see that they've highlighted that they were chosen as one of Glassdoor's 2017 best places to work. I scroll down and boom, all of their open positions are right here targeting me. Keep going, some company updates, a video, and then this is one of my favorite sections, is the Why Work For Us section. So they've highlighted 5 areas that they think are most important for potential job seekers to see when looking at jobs at ARM. So our culture, our impact, early careers, students, and benefits. Keep going all the way down. It's not until I get to the very bottom that I actually see the content in the reviews. They have a featured review right here, and that means that they just select this review as one that they thought did a really good job at accurately describing what it's like to work there. So as you can see, they have full ownership of this page and are really giving their company side of what it's like to work at ARM. And then we'll briefly take a little peek into the Employer Center. So as you can see, they're a pretty large international company, so I can see their global page views, which are a lot. I can also break it down by the company, or excuse me, by the country. And then also, here's just the tip of the iceberg with some of the analytics, but I can see the demographics of the types of job seekers. I can see top jobs people are researching. It looks like lots of engineers by location. And then also I can see if people are visiting ARM, I can see the top other 5 companies that they're going to research. So a ton of insight here into job search behavior. And again, this is the tip of the iceberg. As you can see the left-hand side, there are tons of options as far as different metrics and analytics that you can look at. And for the sake of time, I will keep it at that. But again, kind of my key takeaway for you today would be like, go online, go do a Google search, figure out how candidates are consuming information about you, and just make sure that you are communicating the right message that you want candidates to see. So I'm going to jump back, and I know I gave you a lot of information and some little homework tips, so I'm going to go, no worries, I'm going to go over that again right now. The first thing you want to do is claim your free employer account today and get involved in the conversation that's happening on Glassdoor. And as you can see on my screen, we've got plenty of additional free resources available once you log into your account. So you'll find everything from webinars on demand to free ebooks and guides. And we're really trying to create a portal that employers can use as a place for thought leadership. So I'd encourage you all to log in there today and click around. So once you've claimed your free employer account, the main things that you want and can do with that are manage your company information, update your logos and add a CEO photo, respond to reviews, and then log into the Employer Center and get insight into some of the analytics that we provide for free through the free employer account. So at this point, if you have any questions, go ahead and type those in on the right-hand side, and I can answer those. But really want you to conclude today that what Glassdoor is doing is helping you brand, influence, and hire. And we help you amplify and communicate your employer brand, EVP, and ultimately this is going to lead to you hiring and influencing quality candidates. And today we specifically spoke about our branding tool and the enhanced profile solution, and that's to help you overcome challenges and accomplish your recruiting and branding goals. So next steps for you, again, would be claim your free employer account so you can access some of the data I highlighted today. But should you require a more bespoke demonstration, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will provide my email on the next slide. And I can confirm that you can expect an email from us within 24 hours, and that a recording of the webinar will be available on our YouTube channel. Then again, if you have any pressing questions, now is a really good opportunity to ask them. I'm going to go ahead and look at the questions, and I'll answer them right now, so give me 1 minute. Okay, so first question is, how much does enhanced profile cost? That is a great question, and my answer is that, again, we don't have a one-size-fits-all approach. It's based on employee size and need and really what you as a company are looking for. So it's a very bespoke pricing and packages. And so if you are interested in getting a quote, please do follow up with me. I'm happy to connect you with the appropriate person. Okay, next question is it possible to remove reviews? What if we're paying for the solution? And the ultimate answer to that is no. For the integrity of the site to remain intact, we do not remove reviews. I will for paying and or non-paying clients. But I will say that we do have content and community guidelines that we adhere really strictly to. So if you do believe that a review violates these guidelines, you can flag it and it'll be remoderated by our content team. But other than that, if it's just a disgruntled employee and doesn't necessarily break any guidelines, reviews will not be removed. And you can even check Glassdoor as a Glassdoor page, and we don't remove anything. Everything on there is authentic and real. So we really are practicing what we preach. Okay, I think I have time for one more. And it asks, can we and should we respond to reviews? And the answer is you definitely can and you definitely should. My recommendation is, and I mentioned that portal earlier that has tons of free resource support for you, and there is an article on best practices on responding to reviews. But quickly, what I recommend is syncing with your senior leadership team and looking through the reviews, kind of seeing what kind of themes exist, and then discussing how you want to reply in a unified voice. I know, for example, for Glassdoor, we're growing pretty rapidly. So if it's a marketing review, we have our marketing department respond. If it's HR, we have our HR department respond, sales, etc. So we are having individual people respond to the queries and reviews. And again, we do always recommend kind of taking the high road, and even with some of those harder to get through reviews that you maybe don't agree with, we always recommend and practice ourselves, taking the high road when it comes to responding. Great. So thank you so much for attending. That's all I have, and thank you all for carving out the time today. I trust that you found this session useful. If you do have any questions, follow-up questions, or anything for me, feel free to reach out. My email is lauren.hying, H-E-Y-I-N-G, on the screen, @glassdoor.com. And thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.